Good morning, friends and neighbors. As you can see, it's another beautiful day that God created for us to enjoy. And so let's be glad, rejoice in it, and let's make the most of it. Well, as you know, in the past, we have looked at Bible verses here in the book of Proverbs that says it is better. And usually it compares two different scenarios, and one is always better than the other. And that's what we will have here again today. In the past, remember, we looked at that wisdom is better than silver and gold. Wisdom is better than rubies. We looked also that it's better to be slow in anger than the mighty. And so there's just, several of those instances that we have looked at in book of Proverbs. Today, this one is found in chapter number 25, verses 6 and 7. Let me read it for you. It says, "Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men." Verse 7, "For better it is that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen." And this verse, I think, is really explained in the New Testament that Jesus gave a parable. And in that parable, we find this. It's in Luke chapter 14, and Jesus said this, "When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding," meaning invited to a wedding, "sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him." The room there isn't speaking so much of room. In the Greek, it's kind of like a table, like a head table. And so if you was invited to a wedding, and you was asked to come in, and they did not seat you, or you would want to be as close to the bride and the groom as you could be. Well, here Jesus is telling them, don't put yourself in the highest place unless someone that's more honorable than you was invited to the wedding. Let's say maybe it was someone that was a close relative. Maybe it was someone that was of great importance, of stature in the community. Maybe it was, could be any different scenarios there. And then he goes on to say this in verse number 10, "But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee." And so the purpose is, it's better to be invited to come up than it would be to be put lower. It would be kind of embarrassing to put yourself in a position, then you have to get up and go back, and you might even have to stand. You wouldn't even be able to sit down. Whole purpose is found in verse number 11. It says, "For whosoever exalts himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." God's the one that puts us up, and he's the one that puts us down. Well, don't do it because of pride. A lot of times if we put ourselves back, if we go back into the verse of Proverbs, verse number 6, and when it says about put not thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. A lot of time we want to put ourselves into places, don't we? We want to make ourselves look important. We want to make ourselves feel important. Well, God has a plan. And I'd much rather have God bring me up than being put back down. The Bible tells us in Psalms chapter 75, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south." So where does it come from? The north. It comes from God, doesn't it? Verse 7, "But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another." And friends, a lot of times, whether it's at school, at church, at work, we like to put ourselves first, don't we? We like to get in the best place. Well, the mark of a Christian is to be a servant. We need to look for ways. Let's make other people feel important. Maybe if, instead of us be the first person in line, let's try to find someone that maybe they have a low self-esteem, and maybe say, "Hey, listen, why don't you come up here front? I've got you a place here. Hey, I saved you a place that maybe you would like." And that would be encouraging. The acronym of JOY is Jesus, others, and you. And that brings you joy. I tell you, there's nothing like serving the Lord. And why don't we put some joy in our life by putting ourselves last and putting others first? Well, I hope this has been an encouragement to you. And let's look for someone else to put first today, wherever we are at. Maybe let someone in line so they don't have to wait. Well, you have a great day, my friend. God bless you. Let's keep praying one for another. And remember, we're another day closer. Have a great day, my friend.